that, they also have to overcome with the fact that popular hip hop, is, I mean, people enjoy it. It has broad appeal, and they themselves are struggling to get away from, the degrading imagery and, the all the other things that are typically associated with hip hop culture, and not necessarily, hip hop as a movement.
And so, what do you guys want people in the Twin Cities to get from this series, Muslims in Minnesota?
I guess I think one of the strongest points of this series is the variety of the pieces, and how they're not all about some big exciting news story that's happening right now, which is usually what we're hearing in the media. It's like clips from people's lives. It's just little pieces of people's lives that could be just like you or I. And something that's really neat, I think, about radio is that you don't have that automatic image of someone, so you don't immediately look at what's different about you from them. You're just hearing their voice, and it's so much easier to relate to their story because you feel like you're kind of sitting down and talking to them. So I think it just makes them very human and just like us. So.
And, we were looking at some of the stories that are there. Can you guys give me and our viewers some of the stories that they can look forward to with this series?
One of my favorites is by producer Todd Melby, and it's about a small company that makes Muslim T-shirts. Just has different slogans, and some of them are kind of funny, and just because it was like a niche that wasn't being filled, and it's just a really interesting story. The guys who started it up are really funny, and just kind of something that you wouldn't really hear about. There's also there's a story about Muslim immigrants in the criminal justice system. My story was kind of about feminists and women being empowered and also being Muslim. Can you think of any others?
You got 3. There's one on Muslim burial traditions and stuff, which is very interesting because it's very different. There's one on literacy and Muslim immigrants coming here and learning the language and essentially their experiences and what they have to overcome.
And don't you think this education for people in the Twin Cities who listen to this series is so important to understanding the culture and coming together? And it's just a way to open up the dialogue, to say, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me this. How important is it that we educate ourselves by listening to a series like this?
It's immensely important, and I think, this is such a great attempt by KFAI and the Institute for Global Studies, because community radio is supposed to reflect the community, and I think the Muslim voice has been lacking in so many media discussions over the past few years, and Muslims are such a misunderstood population, and I see this from both sides. I mean, a lot of my friends direct questions to me that they just, things that they don't understand about Islam and Muslims. So I think, this is an immensely important show, and I think it has great stories to tell, and I think that it shows how diverse this population is and how incredibly just important these stories are to share, essentially.
And I thank you guys for the work that you're doing over there, for submitting it, and then for telling the story, because we have so many questions and we don't understand, and a lot of times it's just our ignorance that fuels speculation, and why does this happen, and why do they do that, and they're so different, and really we're all just people. And we're here in the Twin Cities together, and until we can talk about it and dialogue and understand each other, we're never gonna make it. So thank you guys for doing the work and for the stories that you've done. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
And you guys stick around, don't go anywhere. We've got the funniest man in the Twin Cities up next. He's gonna tickle your funny bone. We'll be right back. Stay with us.